What's going on, everyone? It's Brody back in to answer another tennis question. And today's tennis topic is going to be, what tennis strings should I actually use if I'm just getting into tennis? So one of the main few things that you need to know about tennis strings is that there's different levels and there's different types of them. So there's ones that work better as a beginner, there's some that work better as an intermediate, and there's some that work better as a more advanced player. Today we'll focus on the beginner ones, and so that way, if you're just coming into the sport, you're brand new, first and foremost, hello, welcome. Thank you for not only watching, but also coming into the sport of tennis. You've made the best decision of your life. And as well, we'll get into why these are important, what's going to happen, what's actually going to take place when you actually play with them. So first and foremost, I'll just tell you a little bit of a story about a time I was helping someone. So guy came into the store I was working at, and he said, here's what's going on. I just started playing about 3 weeks ago, and I got this racket. I got it from something like a Play It Again Sports, and I don't know what's happening. I like playing, but my arm just cannot stop hurting. I don't know if it's tennis elbow. I've went to the doctor. I've got it checked out, but I just don't know. I don't have a solid answer. So I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. So I took his racket with it, and first and foremost, the racket, it was a pretty decent racket for a beginner. So I won't say it was a pure drive, but it was like a step below that. So the in-between rackets that you can find, usually they're around that $80 price range. So it was one of those from Play It Again Sports. So I was like, okay, the racket's pretty decent. And then I looked at the strings, and this man he had polyester strings. I don't remember the exact string. I think it might have been either Hyper G or just RPM Blast in it. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that's probably where the problem is. Because those strings, while they do play very well for the level that they're designed for, those strings are not for beginners. Those polyester strings can be very harsh on the arm, and if you're just getting into tennis, especially if you have not played before, even if you played sparingly, it's not necessarily the best thing to do with a polyester. It's not going to help you. It's going to potentially even deter you from playing, because it is going to potentially hurt you, like it was with that gentleman in hurting his arm. So what you want to look for then is going to be a few different types. Polyester you can really stay away of. And then the next one that you can start to look at, this is usually the ones that come with the rackets, and that's going to be what is known as a synthetic gut or a nylon string. So a synthetic gut or a nylon string, just because the way that these are designed, it's for the players who are just coming in so they can get a feeling for what the racket does itself. It's not there to do anything special. It's not going to help with more spin. It's not going to help with more power. It's not going to help with more control. The string is there just so you can put a string in and get used to how the racket plays and just get an understanding of how you actually play tennis. If you're looking for something that's more advanced, then a little bit of a more advanced string than a nylon or synthetic gut, that's when you can start getting into the other categories. But if you're just looking for something that's going to do you really well in terms of just getting out on the court and playing with your friends or just trying out some new things, synthetic gut / nylon strings, they're the way to go. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is going to be the multi-filament strings. Multi-filament strings, personally, in my opinion, are going to be the better version of the synthetic guts, because they are not only softer, but they also help with a little bit more power. Now, with multi-filaments, the one thing you do have to note, they do tend to break a little bit quicker. But if you're beginning, you're probably not going to be breaking strings that often, because you don't know how to do that yet. You can hit with a lot of power, but because you don't really know how to put much spin onto the ball, or that's maybe not the exact thing that you are focusing on right now because you're mainly trying to figure out how to keep the ball back and forth and rally, you really don't need to worry about the strings breaking all that much. So a multi-filament will do you really well. It'll be really easy on your arm. It's going to absorb a lot of the impact you would feel as you continue to play with the ball for a lot longer. So that's where multi-filaments can come in. And they have a few different gauges, the 16 gauge, 17 gauge. I haven't ever really seen a multi-filament go to an 18. So 16, 17, so you can get one that's a little bit more durable. Or if you want the string to be even more helpful, in terms of power and spin, you can go with a 17 gauge. It is going to break a little bit quicker, but that's up to you. Now, if you have looked in the description box, the last one that it does say down there is going to be natural gut. Now, natural gut to me is a little bit of a two-sided coin, because while yes, it is an amazing string in its entirety, if you're just beginning out or to the highest levels, it's great. It maintains tension the best, so it doesn't get loose or go dead as quickly as the others. It is probably the softest and best for your arm, probably has some of the most power ever. However, natural gut is really expensive for tennis strings. You're looking upwards of $50 or more per pack, and that's for a full pack, and that's one. That'll do one racket. So if you are starting to play and you have the money you want to spend on natural gut, go ahead. I won't stop you, but there are less expensive alternatives like the multifilaments that'll do you just fine, especially as you're starting out. With the natural gut, you can play with it. It's also really hard to maintain, because if you live in a cold climate like I do, where it's been snowing for the past few days and there's just been nothing but snow piles, then you can really just lose a lot of the natural gut's capabilities, because the weather has taken its toll on it and you have to get it restrung with a brand new pack, which is another $50 down the drain, not counting the stringing costs. So you can use natural gut. It's a little bit of a if, then, and or when can I do it, but you can use it. I won't stop you. If you want to do it, go for it. You should at least try it once, in my opinion, but you don't have to. It's a free country here in America. I don't know where you are. I hope it's free there too. So with that being said, that's really it going on for the tennis strings. I know that there's been a lot of information around here, so you may want to watch this video back just to get a little bit more of an understanding of what's going on. But other than that, subscribe to the channel so that we can grow this channel and get the message out there, because there's a lot of tennis misinformation in the tennis community. And that's why I took it upon myself to make this YouTube channel, so that we can get the information from the people who have it to the people who need it. And for all of you tennis beginners out there, thank you for watching. I'm so glad you started playing. This is going to be one of the best decisions of your life, because I know tennis has impacted me in such a way that I can never even begin to understand and be thankful for throughout the entire of my life. So with that being said, subscribe, and as always, take care.